Do the controversies surrounding Disney's Snow White remake show that we are still in the thick of the culture wars? Oh, have we been following the Snow White?
Actually, the first I'm hearing of this.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good for you.
Well, the two stars are Gal Gadot,
Before you.
who she was in the Israeli Defense Forces. She's Israeli. And then Rachel Zegler plays Snow White. I think Gal plays the... I was not a child, so I don't follow that. I don't know fairy tales. I never read comic books.
Today, we're jumping headfirst into a surprising Hollywood shakeup, the growing controversy surrounding Disney's upcoming Snow White remake. What was supposed to be a modern twist on a beloved classic has sparked a heated cultural debate. In an effort to move away from what they saw as outdated portrayals, Disney made a bold decision to remove the seven dwarfs entirely from the film. The reason? Some advocacy voices argue that the original characters push outdated and harmful stereotypes. But here's the twist. Many actors with dwarfism have strongly pushed back, saying this so-called progress is actually a major setback. They argue that scrapping these roles takes away valuable job opportunities in an industry where people with dwarfism already face steep challenges when it comes to visibility and casting. Even comedian and political commentator Bill Maher chimed in, and let's just say, he didn't hold back. Maher accused Disney of falling into the trap of what he calls performative wokeness, where the goal of avoiding offense ends up creating new problems. According to him, Disney's attempt at progress may actually be tone-deaf, ignoring the real-life impact on those it claims to support. He pointed out a bigger issue, that corporations often bow to the loudest voices online, even if those voices don't truly represent the communities at the heart of these conversations. So here's the million-dollar question. Is Disney making meaningful progress, or are they unintentionally sidelining the very group they meant to uplift? Is this about genuine inclusion, or has the push to modernize led us into murky waters where good intentions meet poor execution? There's a lot to break down, so don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button and let's unpack what this all means for representation, responsibility, and the future of storytelling in Hollywood.
Like so many kids raised on TikTok, she's all for infantada is the only global solution. So the two stars hate each other. And then they couldn't put dwarfs because this is just so typical of the left. The progressives always finding a way to find their way back to doing something not progressive. You'd think the most progressive thing would be get people jobs, and dwarfs want to work.
It's like a golden employment opportunity for dwarves.
There's not that many scripts that come down the pike.
No, there's 7 of them.
That has, and there's seven dwarf jobs here. But because I think it was Peter Dinklage said this is, this is not right. This is demeaning. And they were like, what? We just want to work. We're dwarves. So, ho, ho, ho. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, let's break this down because the Snow White remake just went from a fairy tale reboot to the latest front in Hollywood's culture war. What started as Disney's attempt to update a classic has turned into a debate about representation, overcorrection, and missed opportunities. So what's the big deal? In an effort to avoid stereotypes, Disney chose to remove the 7 dwarfs from the story entirely. The reasoning? Concerns that the original characters might come across as offensive or outdated. Sounds progressive at first glance, right? But here's where things get complicated. Actors with dwarfism, many of whom rarely see roles written for them, are calling this decision a huge letdown. For them, those 7 characters represented more than just a fairy tale. They were rare, meaningful roles in a major film. Roles that could have been reimagined with them, not without them. Instead of collaborating to tell a smarter, more modern version of the story, Disney chose to erase the characters altogether. And in doing so, they may have erased an opportunity for authentic inclusion. Even comedian Bill Maher jumped into the conversation, calling Disney out for trying so hard to appear woke that they lost sight of reality. He argued that this isn't progress, it's performative politics disguised as morality. And let's be real. When trying not to offend becomes the main goal, the result can backfire big time. Inclusion shouldn't mean wiping people out of the picture. It should mean telling stories with the communities involved, not making decisions for them behind closed doors. So now the question stands, was Disney being careful or just careless? And who really gets to decide what representation should look like in today's media landscape?
Is that what he's saying now? Should they aim to be angry moderates?
I think it would be good, not for all Democrats to shed the label of Democrats, but I think more people should run as independents. in more places. Dan Osborne in Nebraska, that was a great race. And it makes sense. And I mean, one of the ways that we've destroyed party competition in this country is that in a bunch of states, they either find the right so repugnant, I think at the moment for me understandably, or the left so repugnant, there actually is no competition. So having people run as independents and be able to make an argument outside of the party label, it makes sense. It would be good if I would like to see, I think a lot of political donors are functionally counterproductive. I think creating the infrastructure for independent competition in states that are otherwise one-party control.
All right, let's switch gears from fairy tales to a different kind of fantasy, fixing American politics. Yep, we're talking about independent candidates and ranked choice voting. And get this, Ezra Klein and Andrew Sullivan, two people who don't usually see eye to eye, actually agree on this one. That alone should make us stop and listen. Here's the deal. Both of them are fed up with how divided American politics has become. It's all yelling in extremes, one side tossing around fascist, the other firing back with communist. Meanwhile, most of us are just trying to figure out how to afford groceries and see a doctor without selling a kidney. So what's the solution? 2 words, political reform. First up, independent candidates. The idea is simple. We need more people running outside the usual red versus blue tug of war. Why? Because in districts that lean hard in one direction, the general election is practically decided before it even begins. Adding independents could shake things up, forcing politicians to work for votes from a broader crowd, not just their party's base. Now enter ranked choice voting, a game changer hiding in plain sight. Instead of picking just one candidate, you rank them. First, second, third, and so on. So if your top choice doesn't make the cut, your vote rolls to the next person on your list. It's kind of like saying, this isn't my favorite, but they're better than the worst. Sullivan pointed out how this method discourages extremism and actually pushes candidates to build bridges, not just appeal to the loudest voices in the room. New York City even used it to elect Mayor Eric Adams, not perfect, but definitely not an extremist either. At the end of the day, ranked choice voting and independent candidates won't magically heal the political system, but they could make things more competitive, less toxic, and more in line with what everyday people actually want from their leaders.
So you give them a little priority, and as the candidates fall out, when they get looked, they then contribute their vote to the next one. So you get a consensus candidate.
Is that a jungle?
And that's how we got Eric Adams in New York, and it's really
Well,
yeah.
Can't blame it on ranked choice voting.
Is that a jungle primary? Is that what they call a jungle?
No, jungle primary is different. California's jungle primary, right?
What does that mean?
Jungle primary, I think, is that you have a bunch of people running, and the top 2 vote getters, no matter what party they are, then have a runoff. So that's how you get a general election in California. We have 2 Democrats running against each other. Ranked choice is that the general election, you can have a lot of different candidates going, or in a primary, you can have a lot of different candidates, and you're ranking through them. So if you have people who are consensus, like if everybody has kind of the same second choice, but people are split between like 3 more extreme first choices,
right,
you might get that second consensus candidate as the winner. For the Eric Adams joke, ranked choice voting is a good idea. We should do it.
Okay, Eric.